winter time. So that's a good thing. Everyone out there who is watching, I know we gather you over several moments here at the top of the stream. So I just want to say hello. Hello, Sweet Tea Shakespeareville. I'm Jeremy, Artistic Director of Sweet Tea Shakespeare, and I am here today with Candace Joice, who is a longtime friend of the company ever since a production many moons ago of The Cherry Orchard. That was a long time ago.
It was.
It was a
I don't
very,
know, like 5 years maybe?
yeah, it's 2014 maybe, I want to say.
Oh gosh, longer than.
2013, 2013, I think.
Wow, really long time ago.
Maybe. I might. No, 2014. It's all coming together now. It's 2014.
Well
So
then.
it's been a minute. And you're here with us this week because you're in a show we are happy to present called The 12 Dates of Christmas. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that and then we'll get into some more about you.
Sure. The 12 Dates of Christmas is most definitely a rom-com. So everybody loves that at the holidays, but it's a rom-com that I think has moments of substance, which also make it like you get to laugh, but then also there's those poignant moments. It's great fun. But it is a one woman show about a woman who is watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade one year at home and discovers her boyfriend in the crowd, uh, actually her fiance in the crowd, with another woman. And that kind of just sets things off for her.
Not a good move, you know.
No, no, bad move. Like, there's so many cameras. Be a little bit more careful. But so she just kind of goes on this year-long adventure of, you know, dating and juggling family and figuring out career stuff, all while she's kind of healing from that relationship. Um, and it's terribly funny, even though that sounds really sad. It's actually quite funny.
Good. So how did you come across the piece?
Well, actually, Greg Fiebig, who is the executive director of Hoosier Shakes and the father of my host here,
Oh gosh.
yeah,
It's a
he
family business. What can I say?
he is the executive director of Hoosier Shakes in Indiana, and he approached me about this time last year and said, "Do you want to do this play for us?" And then Jeremy heard about that and invited me to also do it for Sweet Tea. So it's been a lovely discovery and process.
Yeah, and we were, I mean, well, I won't speak. I won't speak entirely for my father, although I'm known to do that from time to time. He is also a board member here at Sweet Tea, and not. I mean, people. He's been around, but I don't know. Listeners, you may not care. I don't know. But anyway, he I think planted the seed for this pre-COVID, and it happened to um, spill out that a one-person show is a really good idea to do during COVID from a performance and a rehearsal standpoint because it just makes a lot of things easier. But what was that like for you in terms of the rehearsal process and the prep process? How did how did COVID impact your work?
Um, well, certainly, yeah, as you say, I think if it had been a larger cast show and needed more crew and stuff, it wouldn't have happened. But because it was just me and a director, basically, for the first week, our stage manager only zoomed in. So it was really just two people in a space. And then for the last 2 weeks of rehearsal, the stage manager was present. But the biggest impact for me from a rehearsing perspective is that I offered to wear a face shield during rehearsal, which obviously we all know the CDC tells us a face shield is not as good as a mask. But it's hard to rehearse in a mask and for a director to like see what choices you're making and stuff. And a face shield is better than nothing. So I wore a shield through almost 3 weeks of rehearsals just to add a little bit more barrier between myself and the two other people in the room. And I would like go to gesture and touch my face and bump into the shield, or like knock it, or take a drink of water in a scene and have to go like this first. And but like that's small potatoes for what we can do to offer a more safe environment. um so it did affect my breath. In fact, I realized when I got to stop wearing the shield for the first time, whoa, I can breathe so much better, because the sentences in this play are long and it requires a lot of support. Written by a playwright who is a Shakespeare aficionado, has done a lot of Shakespeare work, and so I think she just wrote really long phrases because she's like, this is what we do, long phrases, drive to the period. So anyway, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I will say I met the playwright. I met the playwright a few times, but the most notable time was seeing her in a production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. And so when you say, she has an affinity for verbosity or length of sentences, that reminds me of that experience for sure. Um,
Yeah.
so tell us about you. Tell us what scratches your itch, where you're based, what kind of work you do, and yeah, just give us the story of Candace.
Okay. Sure. So I am actually based in Denver, Colorado. And what scratches my itch? I guess that's such a fun question. Um, it feels like really lame, but the first thing that comes to my mind is just the word storytelling. Um, I guess I am just in my own life as a person, a voracious intaker of stories. I love to read. I love to watch a really well crafted television series, or film. I love the way that story shapes my own perspective of the world, and expands that perspective. And so I really, really love good stories. And when it comes to what kind of work I get to be a part of as an actor, I'm always looking for the next story that really feels like it challenges my own worldview, and therefore hopefully it will do that for others, or it's a really interesting character who has an important story to tell. And not every job that you get is like the best story, but you're always hoping that the next one is going to be like, oh yeah, that's a story I really want to tell. So um, I guess if I were to introduce the itch scratch thing, it would be that.
That's good. It sounds familiar because that's why I'm in the business, and that's good. What have you been reading, watching things lately that you would want to put on someone's list, like must see, must read?
Yeah, for sure. My favorite book that I have read recently is called Free Food for Millionaires, and it is by Min Jin Lee. And she was really famous, like in the last couple of years, for her second novel called Pachinko.
Mm.
And so people might be more familiar with that one. But Free Food for Millionaires was her first book, and it's just this rich kind of coming of age story, except for not starting with like a little kid, a college student who's finding her way in the world, and it follows her through her early 30s. And I so connected to it as someone, who just came out of my early 30s and is like, oh, now I know who I am. And that took a while to get there. So that's really, really great. And as far as TV shows, I recently finished The Morning Show,
Mm.
and I
I did
really,
too. Yeah.
how would you think of it?
So first of all, one of my favorite characters in recent memory is the network executive played by Billy Crudup. I It's just fantastic what he does with that part, and I would say a lot of it is acting and not necessarily writing. I mean, the writing, but it was great to see him sort of take that and make it like great. I don't know. It's just a great performance. It's one of the best things I've seen
I
in recent memory.
1000% agree. I saw his performance and I was like, oh, I want to try to do that.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, really good. The show overall, I mean, I love the sort of content and conceit. I haven't decided whether I think it's good or not. Like, I don't, like it's. But I will say this: I love all of the offstage, backstage. If it's about that in theater or TV, like it already moves up the list. It's like West Wing, except this one's
Right.
in a TV studio, and I do dig all of that, and timely content for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good cast.
Hmm.
So
What have you been watching that you like lately?
I'm in The Crown right now, season 4, and oh, it just knocks my socks off every time.
Good.
I don't know how that show is possible. I I really don't know how it's possible. It's so hard to pull that off, and they are. I mean, I think it's like, um, in the biopic genre, I don't think there's anything better than that. I mean, I know it's a TV show versus some movies, but I can't think of something that's like better than what they're
One thing
doing.
I really appreciate about that show is that every episode could really could almost stand alone.
Hmm.
And so you never know what you're going to get. Is this episode going to be kind of more personal, with dealing with lives, or is it going to be very political, and or is it going to be some crazy event from history that maybe we saw in the headlines, or like my generation and yours, like I didn't even know that happened. So yeah, I really think it's well done.
Yeah, we just the last one we watched last night was the one with Margaret visiting the shrink.
Yeah,
That was pretty fantastic.
really good.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw someone on Facebook who said, "I love The Crown. What horrible, interesting, awful, awful, fantastically um, fascinating, disgusting people."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I thought, yeah, it's like all these adjectives apply to them. They're fascinating and they're awful, and yeah, all of that stuff at the same time.
yeah. It reminds me. So this season for me is a lot different than than the three prior ones. So I think they're like playing this comedy thing, and it reminds me more. I don't know if you've seen Succession, but like it's starting to feel a little like Succession in terms of the ridiculousness of the situations they get into and the behavior that it calls for. Um, but I like it. I like it very much. So what as you look ahead to 2021 and the stories you hope to tell or you're going to tell, what are you looking forward to?
Well, there's really not anything much happening in Denver. And so, you know, audition season here is usually in April to June, and that all just went out the
Hmm.
door. So there are a few companies that have, kind of um, dipped their toe in the water and said, "Hey, we've actually come up with the season, and we're gonna do it." But I think we're all kind of holding our breath to see if it will really happen, and auditions will really happen, and jobs will really be given out. So for myself, uh, I am going to keep producing audiobooks. I produced 6 last year when everything shut down, and I have one contract scheduled for January. So I'm just going to keep auditioning for those because I can do that from home.
Hmm.
And then hope that things start to open up elsewhere.
Yeah, we're in more or less in the same boat. I mean, we wrote a season down before COVID hit, and like we applied for grants with it and all of that, and it includes, um, I mean, the things on paper that we could theoretically do in person if the circumstances allowed. Like we're doing a young company, Sea Voyage. We're supposed to do Much Ado, Midsummer, and Romeo and Juliet, and it's just an open question. Like if the vaccine stuff goes really really well, and we could justify like a 50% house or something safely, we might do that. But like we're not going to know for 2 or 3 more months. I don't think so.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
we see what happens.
Yeah.
But meantime, we're doing what we're doing with 12 dates, which is pivoting as much as we can to online things. And the one thing I will say about this, about the moment, is that like I think there's an argument to be made that theater was not terribly accessible to like huge groups of people. Like there are theater goers, but then there are a lot of people who are like intimidated by that, or to go to a play at the end of a day, you've been at work and just got home and fed your kids or whatever, and then you've got to get out the door. And I mean, like folks who don't drive. I mean, one of Sweet Tea, one of the big feedback themes over the last few years has been like there are like huge numbers of like senior citizens who would love to come see plays and don't want to drive at night. And particularly at this time of year too, it can get trickier. And so this is the COVID thing has forced open the doors so that I think when we come back on the ground, a lot of companies, especially like ours, are going to have like this hybrid sort of identity where there's on the ground content, but it's getting recorded and distributed in other ways. So, and I'm thrilled that we were able to pull it off because all of the restrictions in North Carolina have tightened and we got some more today, actually, a curfew that is in place. And so, thank goodness for your work with Miners Alley Theater there and with Hoosier Shakes. We got that the show was made so that we're able to still debut it, and our crowd here is still able to see it. I'm really grateful to those two places and to you for your work ahead of time to allow something to happen. And so for those, I guess it's time to tell everybody who's listening sort of how to get the show and sort of how it works and all of that. So I'll cover a little bit about that, and we'll see where we are. So if you're listening and want to come see 12 Dates of Christmas, just like it's a play, you can do so from the comfort of your very own sofa. We have an agreement with a site called Broadway On Demand, which streams a lot of these performances, not just 12 Dates, but like lots of different titles. And so you just buy your ticket there, and it's $10 for individuals, $20 for a household. It's like you just get the window. So if you order the Thursday show, you like get it from midnight until 11:59 p.m. You just watch it whenever you want over breakfast. Like you could do the whole Shakespeare and chill thing. You throw it up on your TV, however that works for you. And you just get it for that day. And we're running Thursday the 10th through Sunday the 13th. So you can order a ticket for any one of those things. And you just get the link and you just watch it there like you watch anything online. It is like having Netflix, except there's a play instead of a TV show or movie on the other end. And that is very exciting. And one of the things that we're doing, because actually 12 Dates is kicking off a whole series of holiday events that we're doing. And there are a bunch of others to come in this month. But we are doing like a special season pass. So you can go to our website, which is right up there, sweetteashakespeare.com. And you can order a holiday pass. And it will take you through getting ticket for 12 Dates and everything else we've got coming, including a Christmas concert and a drunk Shakespeare thing and Zoom production of The Man of Mode and streaming production of Knight's Tale. You can get all of them, including 12 Dates for $24 for an individual. 5 shows, $24. Or $42 for family. So that's like going to, if you have a big enough family that are all cohabitating, like depending on the size, you're getting like tickets for like $1 or $2. So it's a good thing. So visit that website. Actually, that will get you to all of the things you need. It'll get you to Broadway On Demand, and it'll get you to all of the other events for the month. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to kick off the holidays. I don't feel like I've been able to do that yet. Thanksgiving was nice, but like I've been cleaning up from the semester for 2 weeks. So it's like now I feel like today I mostly got my list done, and so I'm gonna kick up my feet, and I'm excited for 12 dates on Thursday to sort of get me in a kind of holiday spirit.
Well, good. Well, good. I think it will. I think it'll get you in the holiday spirit. It's got lots of fun Christmas music, and actually, it'll take you through all of the holiday spirits. It starts with Thanksgiving and goes to Valentine's and St. Patrick's, and then eventually, works its way over back to Thanksgiving and Christmas again. So it's just very festive, very fun.
I think it's great, and I think it's so. A lot of our stuff at Sweet Tea Shakespeare tends to have fairly sizable casts. It's usually a dozen people or more, and so it's got scale. And one of the things that we don't do as a result of that a lot is like smaller shows and more intimate things. And certainly this provides an opportunity to do that. It is like being in the room with you, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it even though it is smaller scale, you still get lots of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in the course of the play, I play maybe 10 or 12 different characters. So if you get tired of seeing Candace be Mary, don't worry, she'll be Aunt Kathy in a minute, and then that's fun.
Delightful, and it's one of the things I love most is doing that doubling thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just great. Gets to you get to stretch your muscles and all of that. Tell us about some of the folks you worked with on this project.
Oh yeah, I would love to. When Hoosier Shakes invited me to do this show, the idea was rehearse it in Denver and come to Indiana. And I said, well, I can't do that by myself. I need a director. This is like a big job. And I just thought, oh gosh, if I could have anybody direct me in this show, it would be Kate Gleason. There's no way that I'll be able to get Kate Gleason, but I guess I'll ask. And I just got so lucky. Kate Gleason is a phenomenal actress herself and a director as well. She has a career from coast to coast. She worked in New York and was in the Broadway casts of Pillowman and what's that farce? Oh, my brain.
Boing Boing?
No.
That's the farce I know of recent memory.
I'm not going to be able to pull it.
One Man, Two Governors? That's
No.
the only other one I know. Noise is off.
Okay. That's okay. A really big deal farce on Broadway, and then she I think moved to Colorado. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, and just has a great career here. And she's lovely to work with because she is incredibly specific, and so that means that everything that you're seeing was super intentional choices that are all about producing an experience for the audience, moment by moment by moment. And she's also very warm and kind and just a lovely human being to be in a room with, especially during COVID when I haven't been in a room with anybody. So it's like, oh, I get to see a human being in person. So she's great people. And then we collaborated with a theater here in Denver called Miners Alley Playhouse. And the idea was that ultimately I would bring this to 3 different companies. And so Miners Alley had some artists who provided sound design and stage management and props creation. There's a mighty and lovely team of folks who have brought this show to you from Colorado.
Very good. We like imports. We've expanded since you were here, so we have people who work with us from now Denver, and I love Denver. I used to vacation there all the time, and the only gripe I have about Denver is that it's home to the Broncos. But I'm doing fine otherwise. We have West Coasters from Portland now and California and all of that. Nice. So we're like, I don't know what's that? What metastasizing? We're doing that, and it's delightful. It's a delightful kind of metastasis. Yeah. It's a loaded word, but Yeah. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hello to your puppers over there.
Oh yeah, thanks.
She's over there. Mine's back here somewhere, impatiently waiting for dinner and a little bit of a walk, I'm sure.
Yep.
But it's good to see you. Thank you for doing the show. Thank you for making it available to us.
Oh my
Thank
goodness,
you
thank you for
to all of
producing it.
your.
I hope that it brings some holiday joy to all of you. Really, I really hope it's a nice contribution to your holiday experience.
We are very grateful for it, and grateful to you, and grateful to the team that helped pull this together, including Pops, as my children call him. Greg. He's a good guy most of the time.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, thank you for being here. Have a good night. Stay
Yeah,
warm,
you
and
too.
I will see you. I will see you next on Thursday. I mean, you will not see me, but I will see you.
That's right. Weird.
All right.
Okay.
Again, everybody out there, if you're interested in tickets to the 12 dates of Christmas, you can get them on our website at sweetteashakespeare.com, along with all of the info for all of our other holiday shows this month. We're very excited for this on-demand production, so please take advantage while you can. Tickets are going, so please make them go even faster. Candace, thank you for being here. Thanks everybody else for listening and watching. Happy holidays. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Bye.